Hi guys!
So we are back from our US Caribbean Odyssey.
It was definitely an Odyssey on Odyssey of the Seas. 7-day cruise out of New York, Cape Liberty, all the way down to Orlando, the Bahamas to warm up, because it was freezing in New York.
Yeah, we did a pre-stay in New York. We'll do a separate video about this, but just to give a bit of a teaser, what do we have in New York?
Snow!
And Santa.
And sangria?
No sangria.
I was trying to think of the 3 S's.
There was Christmas, so that was a good
No,
one.
we had Christmas on Coco Cay.
But pre-Christmas, it was very lovely.
Yeah.
But
the question we're always asking ourselves, was it the perfect day on Coco Cay, and was it the perfect, Christmas day?
The other question...
They kept pushing that, didn't they?
That's true. And the other question we've got to ask, because this is our second Royal Caribbean ship, was Odyssey better than Wonder? Well, you're going to have to find out and keep watching.
Or was it a wondrous Odyssey to keep the puns going?
Do you know what? There was so much going on and it's been so crazy. So, do you know what time it is?
It's time to
roll VT!
thought I'd treat you to some ASMR of liquid sunshine.
Wow.
For a cruise with so many sea days, we did a lot. Those ships have so much to do on them.
And because we were in both climates, we got to actually experience the ship in both the warm and the cold.
It's true, actually, because they do send these ships to places like Alaska and the Norwegian fjords, which can also be pretty cold. So it's good to know that there are things that you can do and plenty of stuff to do on the ship when it's cold and also when it's lovely and warm.
Yeah. Before we get into our review, I just wanted to remind you, if you're enjoying our content here on YouTube, to go ahead and subscribe. You can, it doesn't cost you anything. You can click the bell for notifications so you do not miss any content. We are on all the social media platforms.
We are TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, most importantly. Hello.
Yeah, we did say Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook. We've got a Facebook community.
And so if you're really enjoying our stuff, you can always subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/cruiseboys, and help us out there. We give a lot of behind the scenes stuff there, stuff that doesn't come out on
the
any
normal
other
channel
platform.
Yeah. You would also notice that in our videos, and even now, we are wearing some new merchandise. So this is some of our re-imaged merchandise, and we do have a shop. And what's the shop?
It is cruiseboysshop.myshopify.com. It's a bit of a mouthful, sorry.
There's different collections. So there's 3 collections at the moment, which is the Cruising with Pride collection, our traditional or classic collection, and we have an international collection for all our international followers.
You can show your love in any language that we can think of so far. And if we haven't thought about it, let us know in the comment below and we'll come up with it. Tell us what it is, especially if it's a language that we maybe don't speak, and like Mandarin or something. And we will happily look to create one with our great collaborator that we're working with, Nicola from Life in the Parks.
So
also go check out their channel as well if you haven't. It's in the description.
So let's get into it, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. Embarkation.
Did you forget your jacket when we were in?
Oh my gosh, it was so cold, wasn't it?
It was. I'm also not quite sure what it is with American ports, but they really resemble a giant warehouse.
Yeah, they do.
So far, the 3 I think ports we've done, Orlando, New York, Bayonne, and also San Juan, which I think you can class as a US port.
US territory, yeah.
It's a US territory, so we'll class it as. They're very much giant
sheds.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Southampton isn't much better, but they really have that shed warehouse vibe.
Yeah. The embarkation, though, was quite easy. One thing I did notice about embarkation, though, is that we noticed so many people pushing big trolleys of like soda and water,
which I think added to the vibe of it being a giant warehouse, because they were basically looking like they're being
Costco.
Costco, yeah, or Macro, or wherever you want to go, cash and carry. It literally looked with big bottles of things of water and Coke and stuff, and yeah, any soda you could imagine pretty much going on board. Would say if you do the pre-check-in on the app, the process was really super smooth and really fast. Actually, possibly. Again, these boarding processes seem to be getting faster and faster. I mean, we barely stopped, other than going through the security. Yeah,
we just were like.
It was pretty much straight through. It was really fast.
And with the muster drill now, it's done on your actual phone, so you can do that pre-boarding. So that when you go onto boarding, you just need to go up and
only on the day of boarding.
On the day of boarding,
you can do certain stuff before, and then there's certain things you need to do 24 hours before, like your health questionnaire, and then on the day of boarding, you can actually activate the kind of like embarkation process and everything else and do that. I would say well in advance, about 2-3 months before, make sure you log into the app though and book your embarkation time, because they go like hotcakes.
Yeah. Once more, you are.
You do know that Titanic didn't make it to New York, yeah?
Stop it. The ship. This one did, though.
This one did. Yeah, this one went to and from New York multiple times. So the ship is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
all Royal Caribbean ships have a certain vibe about them. When you get on board, the welcome is so nice as well. So lovely and warm. And yeah, it's just really a great vibe feel of the ships. One thing I noted though on this ship more than perhaps the Oasis class and some of the other classes like Freedom class is that they don't really have that giant promenade that Royal Caribbean is very well known for. They do have the Esplanade, or Esplanade. But it's not quite as pronounced as and big and everything on it kind of thing. So if you like that vibe, you're really not going to like this ship. But from our side perspective, it felt a lot more intimate as a ship because of that not being there as much. But it still had a central hub that people could gather around to, like the Christmas tree.
Yeah, which was nice.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice to have those sort of central hubs of activity, and that's what I find with Royal Caribbean ships as well, is they have got that central hub of activity. Sometimes can get busy, so people don't just disperse as much in the ship. What I tended to find though is that on Odyssey that everything was sort of down in the lower decks, and it was only just like the sports and the outdoor decks up top.
Issue I've discovered a lot on a lot of ships, but also especially Royal Caribbean, they're very in-looking.
Yeah.
They don't really look out to the ocean. So unlike say the NCL ships we've cruised on, or some of the other ships like Princess as well is quite good at this, they're very inside looking, and they don't. Therefore, you kind of miss the ocean a lot unless you're literally on the outer deck, sitting on one of the few kind of sun lounges looking out. A lot of it is very inside looking, certainly on the lower deck. So it kind of misses the point a little bit for me. I'd like to see the ocean.
Yeah, there was a good mixture of sort of bars, specialty restaurants, entertainment venues like. There's a lot of entertainment on there, like bumper cars, and I think they had like basketball courts.
The North Star,
of course, which we did get to.
We did go on the North Star. Yeah, it's definitely for a ship though. Royal Caribbeans, you're not going to want for things on the ship.
No,
there's so much to do.
Yeah,
and unlike other cruise lines, Norwegian, it has a lot that is included.
Yeah, and we'll get onto that a little bit later.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. The cabin.
I certainly didn't get a bad night's sleep in the cabin.
No.
So our cabin was a fully obstructed deluxe balcony, which meant that we saved about $600 on the versus a standard ocean view cabin, which obviously does mean that you're running the risk. It is obstructed. There was a rather large obstruction if you look directly out. However, as you walk in, and you'll have seen on our tour if you check above, it is really unobstructed, quite frankly, and I think personally for the amount we saved, I can live with that little obstruction there when I can still look out there and see everything that I could see.
Half the cruise it was so cold that she didn't want to be out on the balcony anyway.
This one forced us out on there whilst we did the tour. It was like minus 12 Celsius. It was absolutely freezing.
But those cabins, the cabin that we were in was so big, and I think that's one thing that I noticed about Royal Caribbean.
Royal do seems to us so far really generous cabin sizes. There's lots of space to move around. You don't feel cramped, especially when we've got 3 in the cabin. Some cruise line cabins now with 3 of us in, especially with Josh getting bigger and more teenage, it can feel a little bit cozy, it's the polite way to put it. Occasionally a little bit claustrophobic. So that was really nice. Also, loads of drawer space. Thank you, Royal Caribbean. They understand that not everyone wants to hang everything. I know, it's okay. Lots of people like to hang stuff, and that's perfectly fine. We do hang certain things, but I need drawer space. And so many cruise cabins now are getting rid of the drawers to make their small cabins feel bigger. Royal seemed to have the opposite. We had more drawers than I think I could actually put stuff in.
The actual cabin I thought was very stylish, and being both on Celebrity Edge classes and also being on Oasis as well, I could see the resemblance in the cabins in there as well. So there was like the light fixtures and things like that I thought were very much the same as both of those.
Yeah, you say stylish. I would say it's quite minimalistic. But and the bathroom, no more shower curtains.
Yes!
No Klingons on this cruise.
No.
Or maybe, but I don't know. But there was definitely... The bathroom is small but functional. Definitely no complaints other than the shower, which the only one that seems to have been shorter recently was Queen Victoria. Check out the link above on our review on Queen Victoria, where I basically had to squat in the shower. This one I just had to at least duck, and at least it didn't scrape half my head off if I didn't. So
just 2 things that I wanted to point out that I were missing from the room as well, and they're just very minor things. So one was there was no clothesline in the actual shower. There was hooks.
That's true. That's a bit of I don't know, faux pas? I don't know, is that the right word? But yeah, it's quite annoying when you've been swimming and you're like, how do I dry my swimwear?
Yeah, unless it's on the balcony, but it was like minus
minus
whatever.
12, that's going to work really well.
No. And the only other thing that I noticed, and this is very minor as well, there was plenty of power. However, by the bed, you had a power plug, so you could use your adapter, multi-adapter. But there wasn't. Some ships now are putting USBs, and I find that easier. The only USB on my side was in the phone, but when I tried to put it in there, it was such a drip one.
Especially given that we've been on a lot older ships that have been retrofitted already with USBs.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that such a new ship being built in like 2018 didn't have
like USBs
as many USBs,
next.
or even actually next to the plugs having more USBs. I think there was one set of plug sockets that had some USB.
One was a smart.
There was slow charge
slow.
and one was a fast charge.
Yeah.
So if you want a drip slow feed, also they weren't labelled very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So we only realised that one was a slow feed. I think when you plugged your phone in one time, it said it's like going to take like 28 hours to like 28 hours to like charge, and you plugged it in the other one, and it was like 2 hours to charge. Oh.
Yeah, but the room was comfortable. It was big. It was roomy, and no complaints really.
No real complaints. No, and definitely for that saving, a bargain.
Food.
The food, indeed. So on board, you have 3 specialty dining rooms. You have Giovanni's.
Yeah.
This is the Italian. You have Wonderland. And you have Chops Grill. So kind of 3 staples for Royal Caribbean, really.
Yep.
Included dining, you've got, starting at the top, you've got Solarium Bistro. You've got Windjammer.
Yep.
Which is the buffet, basically. You have also Coastal Kitchen, which is if you're a suite guest, etc. It's your kind of like separate restaurant that you can sit in and dine in. I think it also is for Pinnacle guests.
Yep.
You have Cafe 270, you have Sorrento's Pizza, and you have the main dining room. I've forgotten its name.
The main dining room.
Oh yeah. No silly names, just the main dining room.
The food on board was, I would have to say, huge. After being on so many ships lately, especially here in Europe and the UK, where you're finding the portion sizes are going like this, the Royal Caribbean portion sizes are quite generous.
Are going like that. There was often too much food actually to eat, and they kept saying, "Do you want more food? Would you like another dish?" I'm going,
no,
thank you. I'm so stuffed. But yeah, it was really good portions in all the places. And actually, one big improvement for me, Windjammer on Wonder was an absolute disaster. It was just
burgers,
rubbish food,
chips,
and that very yellow kind of Kraft mac and cheese. On board here, it was back to a much more kind of what I'd expect as a buffet, and I can understand why people really like it. There was a lot of selection. You had Asian, you had Indian, you had roasts, you had a gluten-free section. There was ice cream. There was healthy sections. There were kind of always available kind of stuff. Interestingly enough, though, I would still say celebrities kicks the ass of Royal Caribbeans, and definitely. Yeah, I think from a selection perspective and quality, but definitely Odyssey's the quality had jumped up back to. I can see why people do like it now, and actually we did have a lot more meals in there because of the fact it was nicer.
Yeah. So when we're on Wonder, we did go to to a couple of specialty restaurants. Now, one we went to was Chops, which we didn't rate at all. We had pretty bad service. We didn't have the best meal, and we thought it was just not worth the cost.
No.
And the second one we did was Wonderland, where all the food came out cold.
It was definitely style over substance on that one, and check out our review above for our thoughts on those specialities, because they were not great. However, Odyssey, and we were a little bit dubious about this, we did book Wonderland whilst we were on board. It did cost us more because we booked it whilst on board, but we thought it's Christmas Day, we wanted to do something a little bit more special, so we went for it. And actually, the smaller restaurant, more intimate restaurant, without all the actors and all the kind of rigmarole that they do on maybe the Oasis class ships, meant that actually we got a really good experience, I would say.
Yeah.
The food was superb.
Yeah.
They brought out a lot of extra dishes that perhaps we didn't ask for, which was really good, and said we thought you'd like to try this. They modified a lot of things to meet our dietary requirements. So I couldn't eat crustaceans, so I was like, I can't have the crab, I can't have this, can't have that. She said, don't worry, we can make a vegan version of the crab one, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also went to Chops Grill for a lunch this time. And again, really great service. Waiter was really friendly, really chatty. That kind of felt the theme on this cruise full stop, wasn't it? That we had a lot of chatty
really
crew,
chatty
really
crew,
engaging crew. Engaging is the right word.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about the cruise is that when you have that more specialised service, and I think that's what we got on Odyssey rather than what we got on Wonder, it just made the cruise a lot better.
It's something I'm excited to enjoy as well is, and if you want a money-saving tip, a good money-saving tip here is, if you want to try a speciality but you don't want to spend out, and I was about to say spray out, which is really the wrong word, but go out for the dinner and spend all that money.
Yep.
You can actually look at doing a lunch, especially on sea days. There tend to be an elevated menu on the sea days. It's a lot cheaper for the lunches, often normally half the price often of the dinners. It's a lot quieter restaurant, so you get more a lot more intimate service, etc. And I'm becoming quite a fan of that now. We've done 2 recently, one on Queen Victoria and one on here on Odyssey. Both steakhouses, interestingly enough, for lunches on the sea day, and had really great experiences. So yeah, I think if you want a money saving tip, go try that out.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Oh, it's the bars and drinks.
That was definitely the theme for this cruise, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink.
Yeah, it was. We did do a bit of drinking, but
we definitely make our drinks package worth it. They are expensive on Royal, but if you can get them at the right time, they do drop, and the prices vary a lot. So just keep an eye on it. It's one good thing, but also annoying thing is you've got to constantly keep an eye on it. It's not like, say, Cunard, where it's pretty much the set price and it's not going to change. It does vary, and if you get it at a low price, set your price point would be what I would do. I set my point. I'm like, when it goes to this point, if it goes to this point, I'm buying it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to buy it.
You need to watch out, because sometimes if you pay at a high price, you are going to actually end up paying pretty much as what you paid for your cruise. So, and
it can be well over $1,000 each.
Yeah. So with bars, let's talk about the different bars. So we did touch on them. So there's quite a few.
There are quite a few. You've got Playmakers, which do serve food. We forgot to mention that earlier in our last section. However, we didn't actually eat in Playmakers this time.
It is an additional cost.
An additional cost. It's not a huge cost though, and it does things like wings and chicken fingers and stuff, which quite honestly you can get in the Windjammer. But I'm sure the wings are great, but you can get most of it in the Windjammer as well.
It's quite cool sitting in like an American sports bar on a ship, wasn't it?
You've not done a sports bar before, have you?
No, I haven't. No. So that's the closest I've been.
It is quite authentic, I would say that, with all the games on and stuff. So no, you've got lime and coconut down on the Lido deck or the pool deck.
Yep.
You've got
Schooners.
Very much one of our favourite bars and a staple, thankfully, of Royal Caribbean.
Yes.
You've got Boleros, which we didn't really go into much on Wonder, but here we did like a lot more. And it's kind of like a Cuban-esque kind of South American vibe going.
Havana,
yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool bands playing as well. You've got the...
Crown.
I always forget the name. The name, I will put it over us talking here so you can see what the name is. But the kind of local pub, if you like. Yep. Again, they do also serve food if you want to pay extra for the food there. A lot of people did say it's really nice as well. Yep. We found it quite often quite quiet, so it was quite a good venue for us to go to. Yeah. Obviously, if this is selling out of the UK, I'm pretty sure that pub would have been packed 24/7. Yeah. But for us, I think Americans maybe not so much into the beer, so maybe not so heavily. Yeah. You've also got Giovanni's Wine Bar.
Oh, and that's where we did a lot of our LGBT meetups, and we met some wonderful people there.
And actually, it was often a quieter bar, so it was quite nice in the evening to go because you could have a conversation there. There wasn't live music playing. There wasn't necessarily all that going on.
Good people watching after the theatre though, because that's where everyone...
Yeah, everyone streams through and back through from 270 to the theatre and back because they're on opposite ends of the ship. 270 as well is a bar and has a bar in its own right, as well as a cafe in there, so you can go during the day and get like coffee and things, or you can have a stronger drink in the evening. They do some additional shows in there as well, so we'll come on to those entertainment.
I'm singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain.
That's entertainment.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know. But yeah, entertainment on board. There were lots actually going on board. We're not huge theatre goers, so we don't tend to go. Although, having seen on Wonder Effectors 2, we thought we'd see the prequel, Effectors, aka
The most campus show at sea.
Yes, and unfortunately on this occasion, the crew were really not as good at singing. The entertainment staff, these ones, that certainly in effectors, the ones on Wonder were far more in tune.
Yeah, I know I will say though, the actual production itself is
it's very impressive.
Really, really impressive.
You've got drones flying around the auditorium. You've got lots of things coming from holograms into real life and stuff. So they've definitely played with the technology. It's really cool, and the production value is great.
Yeah.
Just some singing lessons would be good. I'm sure I'll get hate for that, but do you know what? Sorry, singing lessons. Everyone was coming out going, "Wow."
Yeah.
Maybe they couldn't hear themselves. Maybe the in-ears were up the creek. I don't know.
But to be quite honest, they did a good job of the actual show itself.
The show itself was very good.
The show itself was good.
There are lots of other things that we had on. We had a magician on board. We had a kind of general juggler, comedian. I'm not sure how juggling and comedian go together, but he was a juggling comedian.
Yeah.
Maybe juggles people or jokes. I don't know. But he was on quite a lot actually in lots of different venues as well.
Yeah.
And they had lots of the standard kind of shows, the West End musical kind of style ones from the general entertainment crew.
Yeah.
270 on the sail away on the first day was used as the kind of sail away party. I think that was possibly because it was minus 15 on deck at that point, so it's really cold. So they used inside. And of course we had, where was our cruise director from?
He wasn't from America. It was Steve from Canada.
Steve from Canada.
He told us every day.
Every time. We love Steve from Canada. Actually, a really good cruise director. But it was as funny. Every time it became our running joke for this cruise was Steve from Canada.
And but 270, as you said, they did some really cool stuff in there as well. I was there for a dance party where they had a massive dance party. It did become the nightclub at night, and at midnight we had a virtual fireworks. I've never seen a virtual fireworks, but it was quite impressive.
That was quite cool, and they do use the technology in there for certain shows as well. There was the book, as it's called, which is on board, which is almost like they don't have a full production, West End production, Broadway production show on board, so the book is almost the one that you use the pun book to go and see. We did book to go and see, but actually we decided that we'd spend some time with friends drinking on the last night. Whoops. So we kind of missed it.
There was also an entertainment, there was a sports complex. There was also some really cool things. So you've got the Flow Rider, which Josh had done previously. We didn't do it this time. Oh my gosh, it would have been so cold. There is the iFly, which Josh actually did do.
He did. He went skydiving on the back of a ship. Not many people can say they've done that. There's also things like the bumper cars.
Yep.
You've got the arcade, which I think you do actually pay for the arcade.
Yeah.
On board. But there are some free things in that arcade that you can do. It was like gaming tables,
like air hockey and stuff like that.
That was included. So there is lots of stuff to do, as well as other stuff. Playmakers has loads of things, more traditional kind of like foosball and snooker pool kind of tables. Snooker pool.
Yeah. Trivia, oh my gosh. I'd never seen so much trivia on a ship before.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
it was
us Brits love trivia, but wow.
Gosh, wow.
There was every 5 minutes it was like, the trivia's starting here. I was like, didn't you just have trivia in another bar?
Yep. Schooners was like Trivia Central, wasn't it? Yeah. And one good, cool thing that we did, which we've always wanted to do, was the North Star.
Yeah.
That was
North Star is fantastic. And actually, a lot of people kind of bemoan it and say, oh, just do the free one in port, it's much nicer. Doing it at sea, they do discount it at times. And at sea is really cool because you get amazing views of the ship. I think probably the best time to do would be sailing out of port, which is, again, a paid for one. But it is really, really cool to do.
Yeah.
And things. And yes, you can do it, though, for free in port. However, I tried to get on a few times to do it when they release it each day at a set time. I think it's like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
For the next day, and I kid you what, by 6:01 everything was gone. So it was, you have to be lightning fast or very lucky to get the free ones.
Oh, sorry, just doing push-ups. Oh, it's the gym and spa.
I'm enjoying the zen and the spa, am I?
And I'm doing the gym. Yes.
Yeah, so the gym is huge.
Yeah.
Actually, and it has one of the most commanding, best views. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity seem to do this a lot. They have them right at the top, at the front, which is really cool. So if you're in Alaska, I think we'd be in the gym a lot because we'd be just in there on a treadmill for hours just watching the scenery.
So we're on a fitness program at the moment where we need to go to the gym, do certain exercises, and I think most of 90% of the equipment was there.
One thing that did surprise me though, the young ages that some of the people were in that gym. There were people sort of Josh's sort of age, 11, 12 in the gym, which doing weights and things, which in Europe is kind of almost like, whoa, we don't do that. So it kind of was quite surprising. I was like, why are there so many kids in here?
Yeah.
I mean, all great for them, but yeah, it was quite unusual for us to see that.
I hadn't seen it before.
So that was kind of weird, but fair enough. But really well equipped gym, actually. Good equipment. The funniest thing was, as the ship, we had quite a lot of rock on this ship, and as you're doing like treadmill or anything like that, I was like, wow, I'm suddenly getting really easy. Oh no, it's gone really hard. Oh, it's gone really easy again. Oh, it's gone really hard.
Yeah.
Basically, each side of the ship.
And I had balancing exercises, so I was assigned balancing exercises by our PT.
Your balancing was getting really
and so
good.
my balance was like 2 steps this way, and then get back on 1 foot and do it 2 steps this way. So it was interesting, but no. And the spa.
So spa was a really well equipped spa. We did have a little tour of it. I say equipped. Well equipped if you want to have any form of procedure done.
Yeah.
So massages. There was like fat freezing. I did not have that. Thank you. Rude. We had lots of other things that you could do. There was the mask thing, the LED mask thing.
Some doctor came along to me, and they were like, "Oh, you probably don't need anything." I said, "I need to get rid of these bags." He goes, "Oh, 20 minutes, we can sort it out." And then I looked at the cost and went, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the one thing is the cost of these was absolutely through the roof. And I know cruise lines you pay a lot more for it than say on land.
Yeah.
However, it was almost excessive.
It was.
So we were like, I'm not paying that for that, sorry.
No.
The actual thermal suite was really a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Having come from Cunard as well in Queen Victoria, where there is actually a free bit, which includes sauna and steam rooms, and then there is the paid kind of like thermal part, which is really loads of stuff there. Yeah. This was really almost like non-existent. I don't know if it's just not a big thing in the US or for the US market. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Did US people just not really into the
Thermals
thermal suites
well,
and the wellness suites? Because it felt like, I don't know,
just a couple of rooms and that
really budget.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the ships. But then having as well been on like Norwegian Viva last year.
It was massive.
Easter, which was absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So maybe it can't be. I don't. Maybe it's just Royal Caribbean just don't aim for that market. But Celebrity were the same. Yeah. It was a real non-existent wellness suite.
It's probably because they're making more, or they want to make more of the money out of the treatments themselves rather than the actual thermal spa. Yeah. So I mean, the cost of it was $39 a day. It wasn't too bad.
No, the actual but then to be honest, for $39 you weren't getting much.
No. Well, they love it, and adults love it too. It's the kids' club.
Otherwise known as Adventure Ocean. So on here, it was split across 2 decks actually. The younger kids, well actually technically 3 if you count the teens. So younger kids, older kids beneath them, and then which is teens up to about 12, and then teens up the back. Which actually, teens one was a really good location.
It was near the sportsplex.
It was right next to the sportsplex, which meant they could use all the arcades. They could easily go and do bumper cars, sport things, and stuff. So actually, it was a really good location for it.
Yeah.
The kids was literally on the opposite end of the ship, right at the front, and was pretty big though. Pretty, I think almost kind of replicates what was on
Wonder, really.
The Oasis class ship Wonder.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. Sign in and sign out was a bit of a pain. One thing that we are able to do now with Josh is he can actually sign himself in and out on his own, which was a godsend for us because it meant we didn't have to keep going. Oh, it's like
it was a bit
10 o'clock, we've got to go pick him up.
It was a bit nerve-wracking sometimes. The first few days were like, I wonder if he's going to turn up in our cabin or not. But
he was very good. He was really good at when we said you need to be, kids finishes at 10 p.m, we expect you in the cabin at 10:05. 10:05, he would always be there, except for the last night when he was busy saying goodbye to his friends. But we can forgive him.
Yeah, we can forgive him.
He was only a few minutes later, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, he was really good at that. In fact, one funny time we said to him after lunch, we said on a sea day, you need to meet us at Schooner's Bar. And we came down, and we were a couple of minutes later than we planned because we got stuck waiting for the lift. We came down, there's Josh, sat lap of luxury with a Shirley Temple in hand, like, oh, hi, I just thought I'd order myself a drink. And I was like, oh, making yourself comfortable there.
Yeah, but the teens, I mean, the kids, they do kids really well.
Yeah.
As you said, sign in is a bit of a pain if the kids can't sign themselves in.
They did also do a lot, according to Josh, of roll call.
Roll call. Oh, this is the other thing.
So he said every hour on the hour they were doing roll call, which took like 10 minutes. So he was getting a bit frustrated with that, and I think other kids were. I get it, they need to make sure that
all the kids are
there when they need to.
Yeah.
But I think it was a little bit excessive. I'm not sure if something has happened recently to make them required to do that, but yeah, it was definitely a frustrating thing for Josh. But as a whole, they have so many things to do, from organised activities like dodgeball in there to like gaming to movies, all sorts. You can also pay extra and have them stay later in the evening and do like a sleepover kind of thing.
Pillow fights and that.
They would do movie nights and sleep, and that went on till I think about midnight, I think.
And you could leave them, I believe, on the ship, couldn't you?
You could, with prior information, you could leave them on the ship if you were going on an excursion, etc. It had to be an organised excursion with Royal for them to leave them on there, and obviously you do pay for that as well. Yes. However, and also in ports, the kids can't sign themselves in and out of Kids Club. You do have to still go up. Yep. However, as soon as the ship sets sail on a port day and is at sea again, they can sign themselves in and out as much as they want. I don't think that's the same rule for the Teens Club. I think Teens Club, you could probably sign yourself in and out as much as you want.
I would suspect that the corridor carpets up near the Sportsplex would be quite worn, because that's kind of where all the teens
I don't
tend
get
to
it.
congregate.
Teens seem to like sitting in stairwells. Stairwells. Please let us know. Was this a thing for you? Did you sit in stairwells as a teen on a cruise ship? Because Josh does it now as well.
Yeah. Perfect day. Perfect day.
Perfect day at Coco Cay. Perfect day at Coco Cay.
Coco Cay!
So, Royal Caribbean have multiple increasing private islands and resorts going on at the moment. One of their most popular and famous ones is Coco Cay.
Yeah, and we visited there for a perfect Christmas day.
Perfect Christmas day?
Perfect Christmas day, on Coco Cay.
Yeah, we have been to Coco Cay twice now. We went on Wonder when we were the only ship in, and then this time I was a little bit worried because we were there with another Oasis class ship, so we were there with Allure of the Seas. So there's Allure and Odyssey, and they're both big ships, and I was like, oh my goodness, everything seemed to be getting booked out on the island.
Yep.
And I was a bit like, oh, this is going to be really packed.
Yeah.
However, actually, it was busier.
It was.
Noticeably busier.
It was.
However, we never had to wait anywhere. We could get a sun lounger really easily. We went down to South Beach, which is one of our favourite locations to go to. And we could just chill there. We got one right at the front as well.
Yeah.
Bar staff were always coming around really quick.
Yep.
We did hear that some people were being asked which ship they were on, and did they have, and then they would have to get certain bar staff. We never had that.
No.
They didn't seem to care. We definitely were served by staff from Allure of the Seas as much as Odyssey of the Seas.
Yep.
So I'm not sure, but maybe some staff had a different information.
Exactly.
But there was that. So, but it doesn't seem to affect your time too much.
No. There was a lot of all the cabanas and that. All the activities. They're so expensive, and they were all booked out. We didn't do any sort of extra sort of activities because we just like chilling by the beach.
There is so much to do that is free or included, I should say, on your cruise that I don't think it's really required to spend that much
we'll
money.
do a video about that actually.
Equally though, if you want to, and it's something you've always wanted to do, by all means, it's a great opportunity to do it in a fantastic environment. One thing that I always find really funny, the balloon.
Yeah.
They advertise this balloon in all their videos. It's always there and always going up and down and stuff. Never seen it move.
No.
In fact, the first time we went, I think it was deflated.
That's true.
Because this time I was like, wow, I don't remember that balloon being there last time. And actually, it was inflated this time, but it did not move this time.
Weather was okay. We did go to the lagoon, so the big lagoon, and when we got there, we
Oasis
saw
lagoon.
the Oasis.
It is the biggest lagoon in the Caribbean, which is not in the Caribbean because we're in the Bahamas.
Exactly. But when we got there, I thought...
Sorry, freshwater lagoon, I should say.
But when we got there, I thought, there are so many sun lounges that are vacant and there's not many people in the pool. So we did decide to go to the pool bar, and I would have to say the water was not heated and it was somewhat chilly.
It is never heated.
Yeah.
It is always only heated by the sun. It is December.
Yeah.
It's only in the mid 20 Celsius.
Yeah.
So although it was a lovely day,
Yeah.
the water was freezing.
Yeah. But it was good. We went up to the swim bar. We had some friends of ours who were on Allure of the Seas that got to meet to join us that day and have a couple of drinks with us. And yeah, it was a nice day.
You did get used to the water, either that or I got numb.
Yeah, I know. I just got numb. Someone asked me, they go, "Do you get used to it?" And I go, "No, you just get numb to it."
I think I just went numb.
But Coco Cay is one of those places we could literally go to time and time and time again.
It is a location that, in fact, if we do a Caribbean island and stuff, certainly Royal or Celebrity now, I would definitely be looking to try and have that in the itinerary. It's such an amazing place.
Love it.
One really random fact, just to finish this topic off, though. We did not know how close Great Stirrup Cay is, the NCL private island. We came off the ship, and I was like, why is there an NCL ship right by our ships? It is literally, you could spit on the ship between the two islands.
Swim across.
You could swim.
Swim across.
They are so close to each other. I had no idea. I'm not sure if that's Norwegian's way of being like a bit mean to Royal and cheeky, or what's going on there, but it is so close. In fact, they all are close to each other. Ocean Key isn't far for MSC. Castaway Key isn't far either. Bimini isn't far either. So they're all really close to each other, but I could not get over, still haven't, how close Norwegian and Royal, given that they're such big rival companies, how close they were.
Final thoughts.
I don't know either.
That was like the thinking sort of I don't know. Anyway, final thoughts.
This was a really lovely cruise to experience the ship on. We had 3 sea days. So lots of time to explore the ship. They have so much to do on these ships. I'm increasingly finding Royal is almost one of these places where you need to pick ports you've been to before and explore the port, because you're just going to explore the ship because there's so much to do. And you don't want to miss out on that stuff. So this was a great one, because although we had Orlando, it's not exactly the most exciting port. We docked at like midday. We were leaving by 7. It wasn't like it was particularly a long stay, so it wasn't like you were going to go off to Disney World for the day.
No,
exactly. Queuing. No, people did. I'm not sure why. But yeah, no, it was a really great cruise to relax on, meet people, have a great Christmas time. We met Santa on Coco Cay as well. I really do love Coco Cay.
I do love Coco Cay. I mean, from when I'm comparing the ships, we have a little bit of different sort of opinions on this. I did prefer more the not the Oasis class, the Quantum class, and the reason why is I like a more of a smaller ship. I thought it was a little bit more. The staff were more attentive. It was a more intimate sort of environment, but I don't know.
I think definitely on the Quantum class, the intimate environment was great.
Yeah.
I think our location of our cabin ended up being really good, because it was literally just right next to schooners, one deck up from there, but over enough stuff that you couldn't hear anything. We had rooms around us, but it was such a short walk. Which was a big bonus over, say, Wonder, where it was such a long way that half the time I'm like, it's in the room, I'll go another day, it's fine, I'll get it another time. But I felt that the Oasis class, I prefer that really long promenade. I like that on the MSC Meraviglia class. They've kind of copied that, and I really like that feel. I'm kind of intrigued to try like Independence of the Seas is coming back to the UK. And that has obviously that large promenade, but it's a much smaller ship. So you never know, watch this space. We might end up on a short Independence of the Seas cruise. Just to try that and see how it feels, because I would like to see that. But for me, definitely the Oasis just tips it on activities to do, things in the evening to do, bars in different locations, and the ability to sit in a bar and watch the ocean.
That's true.
I really like that.
I get that, I thought the cruise overall, and let's talk about the itinerary a little bit, is that flying for us to fly to New York is actually a lot sort of cheaper and easier than flying down to Miami or Orlando. Or
Tampa.
But what you do miss out on is those, if you don't want sea days and you want more of a port-heavy itinerary, you're not going to get that when you've got the New York.
If you want to get straight into the action, you're going to have to go down to the sort of Florida ports and stuff to sail from, because you're much quicker, or even further, going to one of the Caribbean ports to really explore some of the more unusual islands. Like we did from San Juan, we actually missed out on, if you're sailing at Miami, etc., you'd still get a sea day before you get down to some of those ports, so you can get really quickly into it. But if you want to relax into the cruise, maybe take a longer cruise as well, you can do that. Obviously from New York, etc., much cheaper from Europe to fly there. Yeah, I would say as well, Quantum as a class of ships,
Yep.
it feels a lot more grown up.
Yeah.
Which sounds funny to say, but it does.
Yep.
I quite like that feel that they have. I love the solarium on here.
Oh yeah.
Really love the solarium.
Yeah.
Not such a fan of the solarium bistro. I still think it's a bit meh. It's basically a baby version of the Windjammer.
Yeah.
But it was okay. I still don't like the Mexican included restaurant they have.
Loco Fresh, yeah.
On Wonder, I got food poisoning in there, and it made me really ill for about 2 days, which was awful. But on here, we had it one time, and I was really underwhelmed again.
Yeah.
It was very popular, though.
Yeah.
I know Americans do love the Mexican Tex-Mex food, so it's great. But
yeah. We also, I mean, talking about food, I think overall, you know, and we did mention this in the food section, big meals, you're
Huge.
never without one. But sometimes, like when they brought the bread out, they brought like a massive big tray of bread. And I did ask them and say, I assume that you cannot reuse that and it needs to go in the ocean. And so it felt like a bit of a waste. So it's kind of finding this happy medium between serving you enough, or you know, being, because some cruise lines especially lately have been like, you can have half a bread roll or something, whereas this is on the opposite, and so it's trying to find that happy medium.
They were very good on board though at looking after different allergies. They really cared for it. They still struggle with like my crustaceans. They're like, oh, it's a shellfish. I was like, no, I like shellfish. I'm fine with shellfish. Crustaceans. But once they got the head round that it's a different thing, that was really good. They're really good with your lactose. In fact, they actually pointed out that the cream on board is all vegan cream.
Yeah.
And I had no idea of this, and I don't think many people do. But it's all vegan cream.
Yeah.
Which means you're perfectly happy to and easy to have it. We couldn't work out what was actually in it, and the waiter couldn't really tell us.
No.
Which is slightly worrying in its own right. But yeah, it was really popular. All in, I think, a fantastic cruise, and I would be happy to go back on Royal Caribbean fairly soon, especially if it goes to Coco Cay.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention was Christmas on there. It was beautifully decorated.
Very American.
Very American. A lot of Christmas music. We had our Christmas ducks, so if you did find one of our Cruise Boys Christmas ducks, let us know in the comments below, because I know a lot of you found them. But yeah, I would just say I really, really enjoyed this cruise, and I'm really liking what the product is that Royal Caribbean offer.
Yeah, and I definitely think we'll be looking to sail either a Quantum or an Oasis class again as soon as we can, realistically, fit it in with our pack schedule, which we shall tell you about soon.
So I think that's the end of the review, and we're going to bring out a vlog series. There's going to be some other spin-offs here about the big questions and just off the back of this cruise, and I think there's so much
so much to share
you.
And we have such a packed year this year that you are going to want to make sure you are subscribed and that bell is rung, because you are not going to miss a minute of this.
Right, so for now, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, like, comment and share.